So now Tilly is moving on to more advanced groundwork. We're at the last of our 5 fundamental ground techniques, which is changing direction. And what that means is while I'm lunging her, she's going to change direction, so I don't have to stop her and change her with a one-rein stop. This is another way to stop your horse. And changing direction is a good way to help the horse connect their feet with their brain. They have to turn on the haunch, they have to turn on the forehand. It's very good brain work for the horse. And where I want to get with this is I'm dancing with my horse. Remember how I talked about there's the leader and there's the follower in a herd of 2 when you're dancing with your horse, and when you're out on the trail, isn't it great how you're one with your horse and it's like dancing? Well, changing direction is where it begins, on the ground. So I'm going to ask Tilly to back up. Good girl. I'm just asking for more. She's doing the right thing. Good girl. Thank you. And I'm going to ask her to lunge. We're going to go to the left. And the way I'm going to change direction is I'm going to step in front of her drive line. Her drive line is the girth forward. And the way I'm going to step is I'm just going to step to the side. Now watch my body language. I'm going to be looking at her, and I'm going to ask her to turn around. And the way I'm going to help support her to understand what I'm asking is I will tug on the lead rope to get her to stop, turn around, and look at me. And then I'll ask her for the other direction. But I need her to stop first before we really start dancing. I need you further back. Good job. Good girl. Okay, girlie. Now we're going to lunge. No. Good girl. Get out of my space. And you'll notice I always walk into my horse. I never walk away from my horse, because that means they're controlling my feet. If my horse is coming in too close and backing me up, I need to get in there and get my horse out of my space. Because if she's moving my feet, she's in control, and she cannot be. My status has to maintain the leader. Now I'm going to step in front of the drive line and look, and she looked at me, but I don't want that bottom in my eye line. When she looks at me, I want that bottom out of my space, so it goes back to yielding the hindquarters. Remember how you taught your horse to yield the hindquarters? This is where we're going to apply it even more. Good girl. I think she just had lunch. What are you chewing on? What's in there? Now she's chewing. She's got something going on in there. I'm going to allow her to finish whatever that is. What is that? You're just playing with your tongue maybe? Oh, good girl. All done. Okay. All right. Other direction. Get going. Good girl. Get going. Good girl. Now watch my body as I step in front of the drive line. I reach with that line. Good girl. And she's turning around and looking at me already. Now if she wasn't, she's pretty easy. And usually by this time, when you've worked these steps with your horse, they're going to be a lot easier to deal with. So she's being very attentive. When I look at her, she's looking right at me. Had she not, though, I would have pulled on that lead rope and yanked her nose. Hey, 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 you need to look at me. And then she would have turned around and looked. But she's not being a very good example of a problem horse today. Stop. She's being impatient, though. Okay, this way. She needs to get going. Get going. Come on. Come on, Tilly. Good girl. And she's being a little resistant today. Low energy. Gonna tap that bottom. Get going. There you go. Oh, goodness sakes. There. That's what I want. Good energy. Good girl. She got a little worried about that gait. Get going. Trot. Trot. Good girl. You know what? She's telling me I'm a little bothered by the gait. And I know why. It's because we have a ladder over here leaning up against the barn that she has not seen before. We just put that up today. You want to check that out? It's all right. You know, I could have gotten after her. I could have taken the end of that the end of the stick and string and hit her with the string and made her go, you know, thinking she's just being obstinate and stubborn. But did you notice it was all right here at the gate? So that told me, you know, something's changed at the gate, and that's because we have a ladder standing up there. And look, she's, oh, concerned about that. That's all right. And what I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other. Just acknowledge she's got a little concern on this side. Yeah, over here by the gate, that is. There, see, it's no big deal. Can I get your head down? There, and let's just hang out together. Good job, Tilly. I'm just going to support her with it and hang out with her for a minute here. It's all right. That's just a ladder. That's nothing bad. Yeah, that's a good girl. Now I want you to lunge nicely, okay? It's not a big deal. Can I have you hang down? There. Good girl. Oh, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yes. Okay. Now let's try to get back to it. See how she does lunging. What a good girl. Oh, and back, 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 back. Very nice, very nice. Something I want to point out is I lunge her and I step in front of the drive line. I pass my stick under the rope. I reach with my other hand, overhand. Now watch this close. I'm going to do it standing here. I step in front of the drive line. Watch where my body is. I pass that stick under my hand. I swap the stick and I reach for the rope and I get her to stop. Okay, girlie. And she's going, I'm going to follow that. Back. Back. Good girl. Now. Get going. Good girl. Now, I didn't have to tap her. I just swung it towards her shoulder. She knew that I was serious because I will follow through with the tap on the shoulder if she's not listening. Good girl. Good girl. I'm having to give her a little more support with the kissing sound. Keep her going. Good job. Nope. Good. I'm going to step in front of that drive line, grab and pull, and make her stand. Good. Now, I don't want that butt. You notice how that butt is kind of sticking out, that bottom there? I'm going to ask for that to move. Very good. When I look down that horse, that bottom is not to be sticking out in my eye line. That's disrespectful. She needs to swing that bottom around and pay attention with her two eyes on me. Good girl, as she's doing right now. Good job. Back. Back. I know you're impatient. You want to learn. She loves learning. Get going. Good girl. Good girl. And trot. Trot. Good job. She's just learning that today. We have not pushed for trots, not even a canter yet. Come on. Get going. And she has to understand that when I pick up the stick, I will follow through and I will tap her with that because I do mean what I say. She is now learning that I do mean what I say. And I'm going to ask her to stop and pull. Good. And I pulled because I want that bottom out of my eye line. And it's still sticking out a little bit. Good job. Back. I didn't ask for you to come in. Now there is coming a point in Tilly's training, and you're going to experience this with your horse as well, that they're going to start they're going to start questioning your leadership. And every day, horses are constantly testing one another within the herd, trying to better their position, their status in the herd. So she's starting to get a little bit lazy, like, well, you know, I don't really think I need to do that. I really don't want to trot. So when you pick up your stick, you need to be prepared to follow through with tapping that shoulder and letting that horse know that you are serious, that you do want them to trot. Don't let them not trot when you've asked, because then they're training you. You're not training your horse. Make sure you maintain your position of leadership with follow through. You must follow through. It's just like raising our kids. If we threaten all the time, we're going to punish them for getting into the cookie jar, you're going to have to sit in a timeout, and you never put that child in a timeout, they're never going to trust you. They're never going to believe what you say. And when it really matters, when that child needs to trust you, it's not going to be there because you didn't follow through. Same with this horse. Horses are too dangerous to not live up to following through when you ask something. It's just too dangerous. You must follow through. I'm going to ask her again. Same direction. Picking up that stick. Good girl. Good girl. And she knows I'm serious. I will follow through. And I will walk into her because it's her job to get out of my space. And 1 and 2. And I like to count. Good girl, because it's like a dance. And back up. Back up. Very good. And I'm going to let her know she's done a good job. And now I think she's ready to dance. We're going to just start dancing, see how she does. And that simply means she'll go from a quick stop to a change of direction. So I'm going to ask her to go. You need to pay attention. Good girl. I know you want to watch Paco. He's next, yes. Good girl. Excellent. Stop slowing down, though. There you go. Just added some pressure behind that bottom. So I don't want her to slow down. Now, 1 and 2 and 3. Good girl. So she's going to have to think a little quicker. But I'm not going to get after her. I'm going to help her come up with the right response. She didn't know. She has to watch me even that much closer now. Good job. And that way. Good girl. See, whoopsie, she's used to stopping and looking at me. Now she's got to shift gears and change direction without stopping. Just a second of a pause. 2 and 3. Come on. That girl. So I came in there and I just tapped that shoulder a little bit. I am serious. When I walk into your space, you need to get going. And I don't want to change direction in the same spot every time, so I have to vary it. So she's doesn't get programmed to just change. No. Good girl. And you see, I had to get on her other side when she got confused about changing. I needed to get on that other side of her so she'd go away from my pressure and go in the direction I asked. 1, 2, and 3. Good girl. Good girl. I didn't have to tap her. She was starting to go the direction I wanted. So why would I get after her? She was trying. She did a good job. And 1, 2, and 3. This way. Good girl. Out of my space. Good girl. Very nice. Oh, she's doing pretty good. Now you get the idea. You get your horse to stop and look. Bump, 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 bump. There you go. Good girl. Another direction. There. Good job. She's just got to sort it out. We're just picking up the pace now. Good girl. And 1 and 2. And because I didn't pull on that nose real good the first time, I didn't get her turned around well enough. Out of my space. Good girl. You notice I didn't have to hit her hard. I just tapped her. You don't have to come in there and hit them hard. Just tap them. There, so they know what you're asking. Good girl. And she's trying to get out of my space, so I'm not touching her because she's moving off. What a super girl. And 1 and 2. Get that nose to me a little bit more because she has a harder time going to the left. Good girl. Good girl. And we're going to end with a 1 rein stop and a 1 rein stop. We're going to toss the rope since we've done our desensitizing. Excellent. What a good girl. And look, she's licking and chewing, thinking about that. What a great girl. You did good. And that's her first session with changing direction, and I'm going to leave it right there. Remember, don't wear your horse out over it. Don't look for perfection. Enjoy the journey with your horse, and your horse will learn that much quicker. The two of you will have a wonderful bond and a great relationship. You did a super job, my girl.